This is an experimental chamber, producing technology by testing on criminal subjects. They also get a percentage bonus output based on my slave species, the Orderlies. This could be one of the last remaining pop scaling builds in 4.3 after the big nerfs. So I wanted to min-max as much as possible to get as much tech as possible with this build. I'll run through the build and all tips and tricks I use so you can follow along. Let's get into it. So here is our Empire, another build that I saw off Kale. Go check out the video of all the builds that they've done. They're really good. But yes, this is a crime-based Empire without criminal megacorp, and that's because we're going to be relying on experimental sentencing. This civic paired along pleasure seekers is going to give us a lot of pop growth, so we get more orderlies, which I'll show you what they'll do in a minute. And then we've got fanatic xenophobe for more pop growth speed, authoritarian, so more output from our workers, which we're going to have. In terms of traits, we're going to have a lot of unemployed pops, hopefully. So seasonal dormancy is very nice. Uncanny intuition, so we can get that council position right there, very strong. And then communal, so there's less housing, so we can increase the pop growth speed a bit more. Unruly and psychological infertility, because we needed 2-2s, and we're trying not to go to war early on when we need pop growth. We have to start with syncretic evolution, because to get orderlies, we need a secondary species to enslave. Hence, this origin is actually pretty good now, because it's the only way to get slaves off the start. If you don't start with it, you'll need to invade people, and it can make the start slower. We're playing on my standard Grand Admiral Small Galaxy, but with mid-game scaling, 0.75 tech addition and standard growth. I've moved the mid-game back to 2250 as I feel a bit more confident with 4.3 now. Let's get into it. So there is a bit we have to do before we start the game. First, what does experimental sentencing do? It's going to give us the experimentation chambers, giving us materials out of extraction. We don't really care about that. Test subject jobs and experimental engineer jobs. These jobs give us tech. Yes, tech. It's always a tech build. These experimental engineers are giving us 6 of each and 2 unity, whereas remember, a lab gives us about 180 jobs and only gives us 2 of each. It's quite good. It's quite good. It does increase crime. That's going to be fine, because the criminals here are also giving us tech. And they're not a job, they're just criminals. They also give amenities and some additional crime, but yeah, that's some nice tech off the start. Now we also have headness here, which let's go to our species and click on our species rights of our main species. This is from the Decadent Living Standard. They're going to provide us unity and pop growth assembly, which is going to be very important, but they require amenities. We don't need to change our main species around, but if you come over to the subject, set species rights, then come over to slavery type, we want them to be orderlies. These increase researchers' output and produce amenities. That's right, more tech output. And we have the amenities to pay for the decadents who require amenities. So once we've done that, basically any leftover species become orderlies. This is like a civilian job, but it's worker. This job here is producing 28% for test subjects and experimental engineers. That's why we want pop growth, so we can get more of these pops to give us more percentage bonuses, but then we get more pops to be civilians, so it increases them more. And then we get more criminals, hopefully, to get more tech. And you can see it's going to be a massive feedback loop. So all we want to do is spam engineers and spam pop growth. We really want as much pop growth as we can. And you can see on our subject here, we've made them very strong so that they have 5% more efficiency to workers and menial journeys, because that does apply to orderlies here. You can see here. We've also got authoritarian, chattel slavery, and serviles, which you have to take. But we've also then gone budding, because more of them that there are, the more monthly pop growth they get. So if we come over to management, and you can see here, we've got 0.48 pops a month, so half a pop a month, just from budding, which then gets a 10% from our gene clinic. And then they're also getting 8% from pops, which is our headness and fanatic xenophobe. Now our aim is to try and get rid of as many of these subjects working the worker jobs. And also we want more crime. Let's get rid of the enforcers, disable the precinct house. We don't want anti-crime. No. I'm incredibly close to 100,000 subscribers. Once I hit that milestone, I will stream for 25 hours, beating all 25 times Crisis. There may even be special guests within that stream too. So make sure to subscribe, and extra points if you put the notification bell on. Thank you, and let's get back to the video. Then we're going to do our standard setup. Let's find our guaranteed worlds. That's a ocean world. Split you up to go and explore. And I think the maths potentially is better to mass buy to start with 100 minerals, so we can instantly build a mining district, because we're going to need minerals. And then we'll start buying monthly once this returns back to 1.3, which doesn't take that long. In terms of tech, we want anything that gives us pop growth or advances towards an ascension or our economy being better. These all suck. So we'll just go for Strikecraft. We'll grab the Unity, and then I don't actually know if quantum computing helps. I don't think it does, because it's researchers. I don't think we actually we really need these specialists. Like, we're going to get most of our tech from experimental engineers. We do need the archive for an experimentation chamber, and there's no way of actually building more of those jobs through districts, so we just need the building slots. We're going to research it anyway just to see. We do have this situation, but I don't want to kill us test subjects for random low amount of tech towards a technology. This situation is not why we've gotten the civic. Maybe later on when we have too many pops we can, but not at the minute. So we're really wanting a crime event. We're above 32%, which is great. We can even come over and negotiate with crime lords to get 10 stability and more crime, but we can't actually afford that at the minute. We can afford to just put information quarantine on for 5 stability. That's pretty good. And do we need 7.4 thousand amenities? No, let's disable the whole of tier 2. We'll keep the medical center since it's giving us quite a lot of pop growth bonuses because it applies to budding too. And we're back down to 1.3 minerals, so let's start buying monthly so we can get a move on. Although our resources do kind of suck, we're gonna have to sell some food and energy, but luckily the energy we can spend on sprawling slums to create 100 more pops. Pops mean prizes, my friends. Kind of volcanic world, not too useful at the minute. And we probably should switch over the crew quarter to a hydro base so we get some more food. We can get rid of food jobs to make more orderlies. Research speed 10% towards it, yeah. And we're just getting more civilians, which then means, you guessed it, more pops. Yeah, with the spare amount of minerals, let's build mining stations, especially on minerals. We need minerals to kickstart our economy. First tradition, it's a tough one. Domination seems like a very good one because it's going to give us more efficiency towards worker pop resources output, slaves. There's so many slave stuff here in workers. Prosperity is also good for building up. We're probably going to want to go a biological ascension to get as much pop growth as we can. But I just think changing our trade into consumer goods so we don't have to worry about it is so good, especially if we want to spam experimental engineers and keep everyone else as civilians because we can get rid of consumer good jobs. So let's go commerce. As soon as sprawling slums done, let's build another experimentation chamber. I'm greedy, you know I am. And finally we get a crime event. There's a crime problem on the lab. No, criminals are an exploitable resource. Let's get more crime, more criminal jobs, and then 20% more resources from our test subjects and experimental engineers. That sounds good because we're about to get 400 more of them. So the normal criminals don't produce us tech, so it's not that big of a deal to get crime going, but we definitely wanted that modify the criminal underworld. Now if we're struggling with stability, we could do the crime lord, but then it does make 200 jobs, which takes away from our headness. Let's get adaptive economic policies, come over to government policies and edicts, and change our trade into consumer goods. We could do unity. How greedy am I? Like, we don't need jobs on tech and stuff. Let's do it. Let's do a unity rush into a ascension-ish. I think that's the play. Like, we don't need to spam physicists and biologists and stuff. We're gonna have experimental engineers. They're already producing us 81 research, and we can just keep spamming these. Let's get pop happiness. Now, do we expand the council now, or do we go for the unity? I think we expand the council now, because we're gonna have more unity later on. I just clicked the wrong one. And the council position is so good, because per level, we're gonna get 2% from test subjects. Yeah, that's pretty good. I have not found our other ocean world, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll keep expanding, and we just need consumer goods. Consumer goods is now going to be an issue, but we can always build some civilian industries to help with that. They're more efficient than just building city districts here, which, to be honest, I think we're probably going to need. Then we can do another experimentation chamber. So what do we want? 83 tech. We've built another experimentation chamber. We go up to 125. Oh, pop growth. I do like that. Also, the slave processing is really nice, but I like pop growth. Let's lower our market fee because we worked out that's very good. And yeah, good thing we did the civilian industry because consumer good upkeep will hurt. I found the other ocean world. I have found someone. Please don't be aggressive. Build mining stations here, and let's immediately get Starbase code so we can get trade, and then put on fortify the border when we actually get unity for the upgrade speed. A positive consumer goods as our more worker output. Yeah. And if we can get to robots, we can then replace the orderlies working these with robots, and then they can just be orderlies. I hope that's what the automatic job shuffling does. Who knows? We can finally colonize this planet. A gene clinic. That would be nice if I had gases, but we do not. We're up to 165 research. I am kind of regretting going for the unity. Probably should have gone for the consumer goods, I can't lie. This tech, though, this early on, 168 4.3 is pretty good. I would definitely take slave related techs. We don't even have the max amount of criminals right now. I'm gonna build a city district because I feel like we're lacking in consumer goods alloys. Unity. Robots already, okay? That'll be great for the orderlies. Let's get slave processing, I think. More job efficiency for them because they are doing a lot right now. And it does apply to this, which which then buffs our experimental engineers. So that is going to give us tech. How stupid. Robots. That will be next. Then we'll immediately build robots here. More pop growth. Yes. I get like no Unity from trade. Is it bugged for Unity, but it like gives loads for consumer goods? Because I swear when we had it on consumer goods, we were getting so much in previous videos. I'm only getting 0.8. We need to hit factions now. They might give us a bit of Unity, please. Commerce is done. At least more trade, and let's get 10% Unity. We need to fix our Unity production. Let's go to isolationist as well for 10% Unity. Now we've got all our planets. Expand the council on input, evolving society, as well as experimentation overseer. And then whoever is the highest, we'll put the governor there, because we're going to want to hire another one anyway, because we can get rid of you on this planet to then get a scientist to then buff up our experimental engineers. Because if you look here, we do get percentage bonus per planet in that list. Or a pre-FTL civilization. They might make great order lies on our capital, I can't lie. We don't actually have enough pops on this planet to work engineers. Oh dear, we finally met our neighbor. They are megacorps, so maybe we can improve to do some trade deals. Next tradition. Let's go domination. It can give us some benefits, I guess. Give us more tech, hopefully. The issue is we don't have enough pops, even though I've tried to maximize pop growth. Automation will help. We can automate our energy. Free up some pops. We have 1.5 thousand orderlies. I think we need to go and acquire some more. Why are there only 200 of them? There's not actually much point acquiring that. We may as well observe. Because I'm selling the max food, I'm just slowly lowering the farmers, so we just get more of these. They're giving more efficiency. The way efficiency works is it basically thinks there's 1,000 pops working, so we have to pay the upkeep. Kind of worse than just raw percentage output, because you have to pay more upkeep, which is why consumer goods suck. But we are almost at 200 tech, and we have been near that number for quite a while, so we have gotten quite a lot of techs. It's just scaling past this point is quite difficult. A clone that would be very nice. 40% Unity. Yay. More pop growth speeds? Yes. Wait, we can have some enforcers working for Unity, but make sure we don't go to 0 crime. More efficiency for our workers and slaves. We're just basically trying to abuse the orderlies. Experimental complex, we want that. That's an upgrade to get more engineers and test subjects. No, they're preparing war on us. Can you not? Good thing I buffed up the starbase. Wire hangers, 120 hours. Mob rule, 40% output. Yes. They're trying to make us a vassal, but I'm hoping... Oh, minus 20% production on our capital. That's not good. Let's claim their stuff then, if we do want to fight them. But I'm not sure they can break us, but we'll see. They only have 1,000 there. I think we're fine. I did accidentally collapse everything. Oh, we're losing all of our consumer good production. Let's get the output. I might need to bring over some pops to work the consumer goods over here. This planet sucks with a minus 20%. It's mental. Yeah, our starbase is 5.3k. I don't think they can break it. Yeah, we have kind of fixed it now. I should have gone to mixed industry a long time. We're on militarist. Rift in space, I'm going to increase our Unity by 25%. I can get more politicians. Oh, that would have helped Unity a lot. Now our consumer goods are dying again. Classic. We also have effectively 3,200 orderlies. We're up to 260 tech, and we're currently at war. Their tech is inferior. Yeah, that's what I thought. No more farmers. All orderlies with 90% efficiency for the criminals and the experimental engineers. Excellent. This is such a bad idea, but I want to build another one. I've heard flak and lasers, it's very good early game, so maybe we might try and go on the offensive, because if we can get pops from this empire who's declared war on us, well, we have finished domination, which is kind of nice. I guess we just go for tech ascendancy to get more tech, more tech. We're at 414, and we've lost the negative on our capital, so we're actually producing resources again, 412 tech. I guess this is just a tech rush build. So let's embrace it. Let's build another experimentation chamber. We can remove this worth. We just got the abilities to do so. Now I don't care if we're at war. That's what I wanted to do before we went to war. I don't know what this species is, but you are an orderline now. That'll status quo. Look at what you've done. Absolutely pointless. At least I get my Bob growth back now. Yippee. Is it worth working these jobs? I don't think it is anymore. I want the Unity. I really think we need to focus on making these civilians so we get more Bob growth. Clone that. Oh, yes. Okay, that's even better. Oh, we can put Fear Campaign on for energy. I mean, that is quite expensive, but 10% Unity, we're struggling. And we have a random research speed thing. But the Stellar Cartel is doing criminal stuff in us. No, don't do that. Since we're at 96% crime now, I'm going to negotiate with crime lords to get stability. 94 stability is pretty nice. Up to 600 technology. I mean, kind of struggling this game, but we have so much tech. And now we have clone vats. What do we replace for a clone vat, though? That's the question. Might have to be the slave processing facility. I believe what I designed here counters them because we flak them down and we have lasers that do more to armor and hull. So we should deal with this quite easily. That we do. Parasites are not an issue for us. And the next tradition, maybe statecraft, to mix it up, more council skill, giving more resources. I maybe should have gone this earlier for the XP, but oh well. I should get the monument down, really. And I need to work some of the food jobs. I need to get some more crystals so I can upgrade. I mean, I can upgrade, but I produce one. It's like a balancing act. You want headness, so you don't want too many jobs going on. But to be fair, for some reason, my robots are headness. Don't know how. If you ever get the test subjects escaping, you could take the Unity. 3,000 is a lot, but I don't want to lose half the pops. We've struggled getting that number, so we're just going to take the speed reduction because we're not doing it anyway. We're preparing war. Well, this time I have a fleet. You're still overwhelming, though. They've actually declared war again. Why? Oh, they have a vassal as well, though. Well, I have 5k. They're superior. I'm a little scared, but we do have a 7.2k starbase in case we need to run. This hurts, but we did take it, and we didn't lose anything. Black is pretty good, because it does shield damage 100% too, so it helps with the laser, but it also gets rid of any missiles and hangers. We'll catch that 400. Yep. Statecraft's done. Let's try Biomorphosis, because we can get more pop growth speeds. What? They've come around! Oh no. They went around. Oh no. They have 7,200, 3,000. That is not good. I'm going to take as many of the planets as possible. No, they... Please die, Cruiser. I think that Cruiser dies first. Yeah. They might have taken all this. They haven't taken my planets yet. How did they retreat back here? That's cheating. Let's activate our edicts and hopefully we can put up a fight here. I don't know though. The main issue is that flak is only level 1. No, they're winning. Damn. I'm very bad with more aggressive empires, but the main issue that I've struggled to get going with these experimental engineers is how do we keep scaling them? Like, we never had enough headness to keep it going. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so after reflection, I was not happy with that end because we were just getting to the good bit where this empire could start ramping up. So just like a great Marvel show, what if I actually built a starbase down here and we didn't die from behind? What I've done is I've cheated to peace out. We haven't gained or lost anything. Arguably, maybe we would have gained stuff because we would have fought them on starbase, but it's fine. What I've done is I've played ahead and seen where this can go because we only got to 500 tech 6 years in. This can ramp up a lot more. Okay, so 15 years later, our economy is looking a lot better than before. We've gained about 120 tech, but more importantly, we are getting through biomorphosis. We've done 2 purity options. We've saved a bunch of Unity so we can try and finish it quickly. We did make that starbase. You see we have 2,000 orderlies. We're at 18.5 thousand pops. We need more, but we're starting to get some civilians. And we were just about to switch into experimentation chambers on here as well with the archives. We're also getting battleships. We're flying through tech. There's a few things we did to max my pop growth. We've upgraded the gene clinic all the way. Less amount of usage, more habitability, less organic pop upkeep, but it's also producing us a bunch of pop growth. We're sort of min-maxing our resources as much as possible so we can get as many headless because they're giving us some pop growth too. Now we've done things like nutritional plentitude for more pop growth and also trying to make sure we resettle from these planets. If they ever get civilians, we resettle them over to our capital. We've also gone meritocracy for more specialist output and things were looking quite up here. We fixed the Unity a lot as well. So just 4 years later is the next save I made. We did reach 1,000 tech, and that's because these archives experimentation complexes are up online. We're constantly trying to fix consumer goods by spamming civilian industries here. So really, we wanted to switch this a lot earlier to get the tech. I think that's something we did as a mistake. We needed to basically just have consumer goods on these planets so we could switch over, maybe even change the trade over, but I didn't actually do that yet. And we're up to almost 20k pops. So you can see it's starting to ramp up. Since 8 years later, we just finished purity in year 86. We're at 22.2 thousand pops. You can see it keeps going. And this is where the efficiency will get a bit crazy. We've only just finished it, I believe. So if we go ahead another 7 years, you can see we're starting to change into urban expansions for housing because we were running out of housing. And we've also now gone for archaeological project. We also went expansion for the pop growth, but we're planning to then push on. We've got so many resources. I don't know how we never got arc furnaces or Dyson swarms. Those would have helped so much to shift production from our planets, but we never did. And then I got a little bit bored, but if you wanted to carry on, I did cheat a little bit by giving myself resources insta-build to see what an eco-monopolist would look like. Basically, you'd want urban expansions for the housing. We have lots of housing. And then research campuses to then spam experimentation chambers. This is at 4k tech. We have 4.9 orderlies because they don't have worker jobs to anymore, so they're giving 261%. So these engineers are going crazy. They're at 3,000 jobs, but they're actually at 12,000 because of the efficiency that we have. It's stupid. And we don't even have all the criminals because remember they're also producing us science. The economy is dead. You wouldn't do this. You would not rush down all that. You'd need to build up with your empire's management. You need more planets. Basically, we don't have enough planets to actually keep up the costs of all of this. But once upgraded, that's 3,000 experimental engineers with 4k tech, and we're not even filled out. If we wanted to, we could add a bunch of these pots, and we've also given them fertile, robust, exotic metabolism for more pop growth, and then we've min-maxed these to get nerve stabled. With purity, you can give them some nice traits, and you get a lot of options. And with purity finished, you also get a whole bunch of pop growth from your genomic research facility here. Also, just a lot of stuff. Actually, I like because we can make more districts. So we now have 40,000 civilians. We've maxed out the test subjects. To be fair, it's only producing us close to 6,000 tech. Only, he says. You could also work the tech jobs if you really wanted to get an extra 100, I guess. But these pops are getting 205% more from pops because of the headness. So you would obviously slowly ramp this up. You'd need more planets. You'd need vassals to be able to upkeep all of this, but it's pretty good. And it's going to get more and more because the more of these pops you have, which also can go infinite, the better. You'd probably start shifting headness and just keep your fungoid species here, which at this point are probably better. So if we did like add like 10,000 of them, you can see this goes up by a lot, making the percent go up a lot, which means we go to 10k because we would be growing both of them at the same time. These would be a lot more, and you can probably just see how the number gets a bit ridiculous. You just need upkeep. This is basically like Knights of the Toxic God with squires, but different flavor and just crime. But yes, I need to make sure I can actually defend against the AI. I can't play as greedy. The Starbases did a good job. These guys have been at war with me in this alternate reality for a while, but we did make 2 decent choke points. But I was just greedy. I needed arc furnaces, didn't roll it because of course not. This build is fun. It's definitely more complex and harder than Knights of Toxic God, probably a bit worse, but it still works and can get you really up into late game. 17k tech. Once you fill this out, it's pretty good. Wouldn't be it this year though. If you like this video and you're wondering what the Knights of Toxic God build is, click here to watch it now. It's very good and way easier than this build to get up and running. Click it now.